Hello, welcome once again to your Elite Weather Forecast. My name is GOUDEAU, and we're going to be talking about the weather forecast coming up for the rest of Tuesday, and we're going to take a look at the next couple of days ahead as well. Severe weather is going to be a big part of the weather forecast for you folks in the Midwest and into the Deep South as we move into the later half of this week. But we are seeing that cloudy and wet weather here across Cleveland, Ohio, which is going to be our city of today. You guys are going to be expecting those showers to continue all day today. You may even see some severe storms moving to your area later on this afternoon and evening. And you know you're going to have that possibility of an isolated tornado, especially down the midsection of the state and down in southern Ohio. It's going to be more likely to see the possibility of a small tornado or two, and large hail and damaging winds to 60 miles per hour is going to be possible as well, and flooding rainfall as you may have training thunderstorm repeated rounds of thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. So let's take a look at that forecast coming up for your Tuesday. Alright, let's take a look at the maps out there and show you what's going to be going on over the next couple of days. Okay, so on our first map, we see what we're seeing out there today. This is where we are for your Tuesday, and across the upper Midwest here, across the southern Great Lakes, as well as excuse me, as well as into Michigan and Wisconsin. Here we're going to be seeing some of those showers and maybe some thunderstorms down here through Ohio, Indiana, Illinois as well. Could see some of those showers and thunderstorms, and they're going to extend down this cold front here back into East Texas. So if you're say in Dallas today and San Antonio through Shreveport, Louisiana, we got Little Rock, Arkansas, northern Mississippi, Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton, Akron, all of Ohio here, Indianapolis. We got parts of Illinois here. We're going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. And in this area here is where we're going to see that potential for severe weather across the Ohio Valley and maybe Indiana and northern Kentucky as well. Could see those severe thunderstorms possible breakout. Again, it won't be like we saw in Oklahoma and Kansas, but we can see some severe weather in that area for this afternoon and evening. Here's what we're going to be seeing for Wednesday out there. So on Wednesday, now we have this storm system that's going to move a little bit further into the northeast. Not going to spread much severe weather this way, but you are going to see thunderstorms up here as well, and some rainfall moving to the mid-Atlantic and the northeast there. So Boston, New York City, Newark, we got Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., and Baltimore. You guys are going to start to see some of that wet weather come your way and maybe some thunderstorms, but I don't expect anything severe for that area. But our severe weather will be down here across Texas and Oklahoma once again, as you guys are going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms, as we're going to get a dry line setting up once again. That same setup that we saw yesterday and we saw Friday that brought that severe weather and that tornado to Andover, Kansas. The storms through Oklahoma City last night and up through Tulsa and down into North Texas. We're going to see a very similar setup to that for your Wednesday here. So we're going to be seeing that severe weather set up once again as another one of those shortwave low pressure centers come down out of the Rockies. Another Colorado low moving out into the central and southern plains for your Wednesday. Here's what we're going to be seeing on Thursday. That severe weather really kicks it into high gear before it makes its way out into the Midwest there, and we're going to be seeing those storms into Arkansas and Missouri, and also into Tennessee and Kentucky, parts of Louisiana and Mississippi as well. Could be seeing those severe thunderstorms. Now here we're going to get that tornado threat again. We're going to look at some other things later on here as we move on through this forecast, but we're going to be seeing those tornadoes, those very large hail torrential rainfall downpours as well. A lot of lightnings. The last night's storm produced a whole lot of lightning through Oklahoma here. It was a beautiful round of storms. It was some tornadoes. We had some confirmed tornadoes near Loyal. There was some tornadoes in here just west of Tulsa. So we saw several weak tornadoes spin up in Oklahoma. Now, one thing about these high base elevated storms is that they usually tend to produce weaker tornadoes, but they have tremendous hail. So there was tremendous hail, very large hail, and visually, these storms, the elevated storms, you really can see the cloud structure and the structure of the storms really clearly there. So some very well-defined thunderstorms. We saw these elevated thunderstorms moving through Oklahoma last night. And we're going to see the same thing here again tomorrow, as you guys are going to get a break today for your Tuesday. But that severe weather will return Wednesday and Thursday as we see those elevated thunderstorms through Oklahoma. So we're going to be seeing those that large hail, those tornadoes once again. It's going to be a storm chaser's dream out there one more time for your Wednesday and Thursday. So as we take a look at what our severe weather outlook is going to be for your Tuesday afternoon, and of course we're going to be talking about here across the Ohio Valley and parts of Pennsylvania. Here we got West Virginia as well as Kentucky is going to be seeing that possibility for that slight risk for severe weather, and we have our marginal risk here that's going to extend through the middle of Pennsylvania as well as all the way down to northern Mississippi and Alabama as well. Could see that potential for some severe weather through Tennessee and Kentucky. And we have another area where there's the potential for marginal risk to see some severe weather here across the mid-Atlantic states. So we got North Carolina and Virginia. And we could see another couple pockets of severe weather down here across Texas. Here we got East Texas, maybe around Houston. And then down in southwest Texas near San Angelo, we could see a severe threat as well. And we have a slight risk down there along the Mexican border. And then another area where there's a slight risk of a moderate risk of seeing some severe thunderstorms down here in North Texas. And then some more thunderstorms are going to be possible there across the front range of the Rockies as well as the high plains of Wyoming, parts of Montana, and Colorado through the Rockies and the foothills as well of the Rockies just east of Denver. So we got Denver here. So we got the Colorado Rockies and Glenwood Springs here. So we could see the potential for some thunderstorms, but that activity won't be severe for you folks there. And here's what we're going to be seeing here as we move on into Wednesday. So your Wednesday into Thursday. So this is going to be the severe threat on Wednesday. Very similar setup to last night. We have this enhanced risk of severe weather here across southwestern Oklahoma, north central Texas. This will eventually move into the Dallas area. So you're going to be seeing that severe weather out there for your Wednesday as well. For your Thursday, we're going to be seeing that. Or for your Wednesday, as we see this severe weather really get going out there tomorrow. So that threat for that tornado threat, that very large hail, we're going to be talking baseball size hail, F2, maybe stronger tornadoes, torrential heavy rainfall, as we're going to have training and repeated rounds of thunderstorms come through. So you're going to see a lot of heavy rain as well with this thunderstorm activity. So that slight risk threat goes all the way down to the Mexican border. So you're going to see a lot of thunderstorms possibly develop in this area here where we can see that slight risk. And we'll see general non-severe thunderstorm along the Texas coast, the Gulf Coast, Florida, all the way up into the northeast to near Maine. We can see the potential for non-severe thunderstorms. And that non-severe storm threat is going to extend all the way back into the high plains, into Nebraska. We got parts of Iowa, Missouri. We have Colorado, Wyoming as well, because we see those non-severe thunderstorms in the mountains and the higher elevations there. So that's what are some thunderstorm outlook look like for Wednesday. Here we're off for Thursday. We pick up a little bit bigger area of that enhanced risk for severe weather here through Arkansas, so Little Rock, southern Missouri. We have Branson here in Springfield. You guys are going to be in that enhanced risk. Northern Louisiana, Northeast Texas, Texarkana. We have Shreveport down here in Louisiana, going to be in that enhanced risk. So this system is going to make a more southerly track here because of a large area of high pressure across the northern tier of the country, and that high pressure is going to influence where this storm goes. So this activity is going to stay more down toward the south this way instead of move across into the Great Lakes and the interior portions of the Northeast because of that big ridge of high pressure down here in southern Canada. This influence is going to go into the northern half of the nation. So we're going to see that severe threat stay more toward the south this time. So as we take a look at some individual watches and talk about things some other big metros can see, this is what we're going to be seeing today. The biggest areas affected by that severe weather. So we have the Cleveland area. We have the big cities here in Ohio. Ohio has a lot of pretty good sized cities and towns here. So we're going to see that severe weather threat, that slight risk of severe weather here through much of Ohio. And that's going to, of course, extend down into Kentucky, parts of Indiana as well as you folks in Pennsylvania are going to be seeing that severe weather. So we're going to be seeing that potential there for some damaging wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. We're going to have that localized heavy rain, some lightning, as well as an isolated tornado, especially down in the southern tier of the state as well. This is what we're going to be seeing today across Ohio. Here's what we're going to be talking about for Oklahoma City for your Wednesday. So Oklahoma City going to be in that enhanced risk once again for that severe weather, and you guys are going to be dealing with the potential. You're going to have a medium risk for tornadoes again, once again out there, like we saw yesterday. Baseball size hail once again. And those wind gusts between 60 and 80 miles per hour with some of those. When that storm is going to start off as discrete supercells, but as the day wears on and you get into the evening hours, it's going to organize into that big line, a linear thunderstorm like we saw last night. That big, powerful, severe thunderstorm, big, long line of severe storms is going to move through Oklahoma City once again in the Tulsa area. You're going to be dealing with that one more time for your Wednesday evening. That's when we're going to see the higher risk for that 80 mile per hour winds. It's when those storms go linear and we see that squall line move through. So we're also going to be taking a look at the Dallas area tomorrow night. So tomorrow through Thursday, we're going to see that severe weather work its way from west to east. And this is during the day. Here's Wednesday night, and here's your Thursday. You're going to be seeing that line of severe storms come through the Dallas area. So as we take a look at what we're going to be seeing across the state of Arkansas for Wednesday and Thursday here. So Thursday, we're going to be seeing that enhanced risk in your area, and you're going to be dealing with that maximum winds are going to be 60 miles per hour, golf ball size hail, as well as the low risk of tornado threat. As the biggest threat with this is going to actually end up being heavy rainfall. So here in this area, you're going to be dealing with more rainfall, heavy and torrential rains as this storm system moves into the Ozarks and the Mississippi Valley. So it's going to be more of a rain producer. We're going to see that large hail and damaging winds, but a little bit lower tornado threat for you folks on Thursday. So here's a look at what the temperatures are going to look like across America for your Tuesday for today. So we're going to be talking about those 60s and 50s here across the northern plains over into the Pacific Northwest. We'll see the nation's cool spot is going to be here across the northern half of the nation. We'll see the warmth down here across the south. We'll see those 90s here in the desert southwest and into parts of West Texas and southeastern New Mexico down into South Texas. We'll see those low 90s down along the Gulf Coast, over into Florida, down here in South Georgia, we'll see some low 90s as well. We'll see 80s through the state of Florida. Those 80s will go up the eastern seaboard until about the mid-Atlantic, where it'll fall back into the 70s and 60s, and you're starting to see that rainfall as well here across the Great Lakes and the Northeast, so you'll see those temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Here's what we're going to see for tomorrow out there. Much of the same. We'll see those temperatures creep up a little bit higher here across the northern plains. We'll see those 60s. Maybe we'll see some 70s here across the northern plains into Montana. We'll see those 70s down through the into Nebraska and Kansas here, 80s down into Oklahoma and Texas, 90s down in South Texas. Those 90s also will start to spread. We got those upper 80s, lower 90s here along the Gulf Coast, 80s through the state of Florida. We'll see those 80s up into the mid-Atlantic states, but things will cool off a little bit more here across the Northeast as we see those temperatures in the 60s into Maine, and then we have Vermont and New Hampshire. We'll see those 60s as well, and we may even start to see some 70s here into upstate New York there in Pennsylvania. But the desert Southwest is going to continue with those low to mid 90s, and we'll see those warm temperatures in the California as well. As the Central Valley here is going to continue to see those temperatures start to creep up in the upper 80s and lower 90s. So it's going to be warm out there across the desert Southwest. The desert Southwest heat continues for your Thursday as we see those temperatures across the low 90s from Vegas, Phoenix, and Tucson, Yuma, but we'll see those 70s along the Pacific Coast, LA, San Diego, but those 80s and 90s will ride up into the Central Valley as it's starting to warm up out west out there. We'll see the 60s here across the Pacific Northwest. We'll see 70s, upper 60s here across the northern plains finally as spring really starts to look like it's going to actually happen up here for this time as we move through the month of May. So we're going to actually start to see temperatures get close to 70 here across the northern plains. We'll see those upper 60s, lower 70s through the central and northern plains as well into Iowa and the Midwest. We'll see those 70s go down into the northeast here. We'll start to see 70s, making 60s and 70s up into the big cities of the northeast and Maine there. But we'll see those 80s and lower 90s here across the southeast and down into Florida, where temperatures will remain in the 80s. But we will start to see some 90s in Florida as well now as we make our way toward the beginning of hurricane season there. So it's going to be getting a bit warmer down south and finally here in the northern plains as well. I'm seeing signs that by this weekend we could actually be in the 70s here in Minnesota, which is going to be absolutely wonderful. But with that, also it's going to bring the threat potentially for severe weather to our area as well. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, that was a look at the weather forecast coming up for the next couple of days as we kind of take another look at the potential for severe weather. My name is GOUDEAU. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. And if you feel so inclined to do so, please leave your likes, your comments, and subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.